welcome to Newspaper Today on Osbc TV. I am Adeniyi Adebayo. On today's edition of Newspaper Today, we will start our review from the leadership newspaper this morning. In the leadership newspaper this morning, it has the following stories: Labour strike, fuel crisis, others beg for attention. Muslim observe peaceful Eid al-Maulud celebration, 6 killed in fresh southern Kaduna attack. Still on the leadership newspaper this morning, now airstrike hits terrorist hideout in Anambra, Imo. Floating naira, importers abandon Tokubo cars at seaport. And moving on to the New Telegraph newspaper this morning, insecurity, NAF strikes IPOB ESN's hideout in Anambra, Imo. Naira stability, hope rises as lender woos oil marketers on $3 billion loan. Still on New Telegraph this morning, Tinubu, Shetima, governors, bankers should declare assets publicly. UNICEF, Nigeria seeks $3.3 million more to combat diphtheria before December. And on Nigeria's New Direct this morning, it has the following stories: October 3rd strike, LP backs organized labor as anxiety mounts. Still on News Direct this morning, FCT Minister Wike lays off heads of 21 agencies. Moving on to the Guardian newspaper this morning, lax PRA implementation leaves NMPCL, NUPRC, NMDPRA in disarray. Still on the front page of the Guardian newspaper this morning, Ondo lawmakers shun court orders, move to impeach deputy governor. Stakeholders shared bricks over return of petrol subsidy. Apologize for ridiculing monarchs, Afenifere tells Obasanjo. Moving on to the front page of Daily Sun newspaper this morning, FG consider option to abort labour strike. Angry directors petitions presidency over alleged AGF's age falsification orders. And on Daily Trust this morning, Wike sacks heads of 21 FCT agencies. 271.9 billion goods unsold in first half of 2023. Man. Diphtheria. UNICEF sends 9.3 million vaccine doses to Kano, 6 other states. Why Nigeria lost 2025 AFCON bid to Morocco. Economy not hosting our priority, Rep Committee Chairman. And on the Guardian, and on the Punch newspaper this morning, debt crisis, stop tax waves, IMF tells Nigeria. Labour fought FG's meeting, insists on indefinite strike. Can governors preach peace, hope at Eid Maulud. Afenifere accuses Obasanjo of ridiculing Obas, demands apology. And on this note, I would like to welcome my guest on today's show, Mr. Kayode Adebisi.
Good morning. Thank you. Good morning, Nigerians.
We start today's program. We start today's review with this story on the Punch newspaper this morning. Labour fought FG's meeting, insists on indefinite strike.
Whether they like it or not, I hope by the Mr. President address on October 1, the matter will be resolved. Maybe that is the reason why they put the starting date on 3rd October. So be that as it may know, before that time, there will be positive response from the federal government in that respect. Because the indefinite strike for definite strike, we pay no one any good. Because once they have not followed the procedure to embark on strike, the principle of no work no pay may be invoked again. So it's better for the party to continue to dialogue. We all know the condition of the economy, and we all know the condition of the economy generally in the whole world. So even if the price, if the increment is given today to the salary, the ripple effect multiplied by that the price of goods and services will also skyrocket. And when it is skyrocketed, then the value of naira will go down. So the best option for the labour is to insist that the economy should be reviewed, our industrial sectors will be taken back to activities. In that way, if we have more exports and we are earning more foreign earnings, then everybody will see the effect rather than be asking for increase in salaries and some other demands, which will only be temporary and all that permanent.
Okay, thank you for that. And on the Nation newspaper this morning, there's this story that has to do with INEC. Insecurity threatens November 11 governorship polls.
Well, particularly in the axis of the Kogi State, North Central, the issue of kidnapping, banditry, and what have you should be frontally taken care of. But thank God, it's an up-cycle election, and as a result of that, the Nigerian government does not have any excuse. They have more than enough security personnel and officers to deploy to this area, and they should not wait until the election day. By now, they should have been deploying these officers systematically to this area, particularly concerning the very sensitive places like INEC offices, which has already been the subject of attack, being burnt by the hoodlums. So by now, we should not have the case of any INEC either in Kogi or Bayelsa or Imo being burnt again. And particularly also in Imo State, you can see that some soldiers were ambushed sometimes ago, and they were killed by these IPOB members, notably. So by now, all those issues must have been taken care of before the D-Day.
Okay, thank you for that. And moving back to the Punch newspaper this morning, Afenifere accuses Obasanjo of ridiculing Obas, demands apology.
Well, we all know that the former president will not apologize. And we also know that even Afenifere is divided. We had the Pasoransi-led Afenifere, which at least has the majority of the members. We also had the Adebayo, which is more of a Obasanjo person. For him and himself and Obasanjo, they campaign openly for Peter Obi as their candidates. So when you have a divided out, it will be difficult for them to have a common voice. And when you don't have common voice, everything will be subject to cacophony and confusion and sentiment. But be that as it's made, the Yoruba Council worldwide, they have taken their own decision that they are going to give the man the embarrassment of his own life if he fail, and he has failed to apologize within that 3 days. Let us wait and see. Even the real stakeholders, they are the national council. Afenifere, they are non-political, socio-cultural Yoruba organizations. So they have done the right thing. But if it doesn't buckle, then the Yoruba Council of Federal and other stakeholders will be taking up. And definitely, maybe he will embarrass himself.
Okay, thank you for that. And on the Guardian newspaper this morning, Ondo lawmakers shun court orders, move to impeach deputy governor.
And we have known from the issue of impeachment that once a due process is followed, and the lawmakers, they have the duty also to respect the court. For whatever reason, he has filed multiple suits now, some in High Court Ondo and some in Federal High Court in Abuja, with a view to hamstringing and to delay the impeachment process. But even if you remember that of former deputy governor Adeniyi, he also used the same tactics, to the extent that when they even said they impeach him, he could not be removed from office. Although they did not pay all his entitled me. But in the spirit of democracy and rule of law, lawmakers should also act fast by responding to the suit they are filed, and the judges they will give the accelerated hearing, knowing fully the nature of the matter and decide it on time.
Thank you for that. And moving on to Business Day, the front page of Business Day, it has this story: FG takes $1.95 billion World Bank loan, ignores debt concerns.
Well, the issue of accumulating debt is another problem we have, and we all know that the existing debt we have not been able to pay everything up. So, but the Mr. President, who is now is a good manager of resources, if the loan is used for the purpose that will be beneficial to the masses, the one that will bring returns to our economy, not just that will service the current, to be for the major capital projects that will galvanize the economy. Yeah? The loan is not bad. It's not bad. Taking loan is not bad in itself, but the implementation and the purpose, that is the way we are concerned. But leave that as we know that the loan will be used for the purpose of it, because the IMF will not just give you loan without giving conditionalities, and they also monitor it. That's just the fact.
Okay, thank you. And on Daily Trust this morning, diphtheria, UNICEF sends 9.3 million vaccines doses to Kano, 6 other states.
So that's one of the things we are saying, that if there is dividend of democracy, we should not wait for UNICEF, we should not wait for international communities, before government will inject into the health sector massively. Wait, at least about 30%, if not more than that, of our national budget to go to health. If you have all this diphtheria will not have occurred in the first place. Even if it's an outbreak of diseases, you'll be able to have on grant the necessary where with that to tackle it. So that they know how the way you pay back to them, even more than what they are giving you. So all the problems, they don't invest in education, they don't invest in health. And those are the critical areas that affect the masses much more than any other thing.
Thank you. And moving on to Voice of Liberty this morning, Nimet flood, FG issues fresh alert to 25 states, FCT.
Well, you usually alert, but what are the solutions? There have been perennial problems year in, year out. By now, apart from the issue of greenhouse effects in the internal community, they have distorted the ozone layers. But there are some other human-caused flood. A building plan is not followed. You are building in an industrial place instead of. Look at what is happening in FCT now through the FCT minister. He's clearing all this corruption. You are allocated land, you are not building on it. You are reselling it to another person. Something of 200,000, you are selling in millions, sometimes billions. These are the issues we are facing. Human-caused flood, they are much more than the natural cause. And if the people are not made examples, you have the environmental law. Our problem is not with the laws, but the implementation of that laws.
Okay, still on Voice of Liberty this morning, Senate confirmation. CBN new governor Cardoso vows to resist political interference.
Well, we are waiting for him. How far we are going to rejig the economy. That is the duty of certain banks, particularly our forex trading. That's the essence of governor of certain bank, so that we give the government and suggest to the government policy that will enhance our economy, not to dabble into the area that belongs to any other government official. But from the record, the man is well experienced and he has the requisite cognizant experience in the banking and
The front page of Daily Sun this morning. Tinubu may unveil fresh palliative in October 1st broadcast. Is this good news for Nigerians?
I don't see anything so good, so much. It may be good for some people that are called the poorest of the poor. It's just for them to eat. They don't have any other ambition in life than to eat. But people that have more than eating, because if you want to eat now, you need the money to buy gas. You need the money either to buy kerosene or to buy chakao. But you are giving people rice. There is no other relief in the area of energy. The bill, electricity bill is very high. The national grid is collapsing every day. So all those areas fixing the refinery as a promise, that's the most expectant thing that the Nigerians are waiting for as a promise by December of this year. So all those issues of giving palliative giving, all those things will just be additional thing. But do the first critical thing first. Energy, health sector, educational system. The students are crying now about increment. Unilag and all that. So they are still, these are still there. They have not made any interventionalist address on that. Maybe October 1 national address will address all these issues. We are waiting for you.
Okay, thank you for that. Moving on to the New Telegraph this morning. Tinubu, Shetima, governors, bankers should declare assets publicly.
There is no law yet that says you should declare your assets publicly. But the problem is that even the secret law they are using now allow people to get access. You see, the real, then we have the rate for this asset declaration, code of conduct, the real. Don't use politics. If people apply for personal information, give him or her. But the problem we have that some individuals are very stronger than the law, which is the institution we have to respect. Just maybe yesterday now, the former president of the US was found liable in a civil action. The former president, can it happen in Nigeria? So those are the issues.
Okay, thank you for that. And on the leadership newspaper this morning, NAS budget has been stagnant for 13 years. Abbas.
Well, you know, it's a student body. And you know what is happening in the larger society, that even in the account of Nigeria as a nation was said that there was no auditor general for some times. So NNPC account was not audited for maybe for the space of 13 years. So what a microsoft organization like finance will not be surprising. They heard that maybe they are just going there, getting the money, diverting it. No one to challenge them. Even most members, they will not be aware. So, and you expect that those people will be the future leaders of tomorrow. It's very worrisome.
Okay, thank you for that. Now going back to Daily Sun newspaper, Nigerian Air Force strikes IPOB ESN hideout in Anambra.
In that area, they need to expedite more action. In fact, it will be an intensive bombardment on daily basis. Because we still have this so-called the case of unknown government and this people for. So, and the essence is to frustrate the coming election in Imo State in particular. Because if you look at the trend of attacks, it has been mostly on the Imo State and Anambra axis. So it's a good for those for the federal government. And at the same time, the government of the day should also engage the populace. It should dialogue with them.
For that. And going back to Daily Trust newspaper, Wike sacks heads of 21 FCT agencies.
Well, there must have been reason for that. Maybe for non-performance or corruption. But at the same time, when you are recruiting people to any position, look at the caliber and symbol of that person, the track records. And is person fitting? Is it not based on sentiment, ethnic, or religion? Those are the issues that are possibly based.
And finally, on today's program, the Guardian newspaper has this story. Diesel may trade near 1,500 naira per litre as oil price.
Well, that's the issue of keep burning up the issue of refineries. Once you are not refining this thing in your country, even if you can go to 2,000 naira. Even as we said that, some people are still believing whether the palliative has come back or has resurrected as a ghost, because the government still pays some time ago. They are telling us that just to reduce the effects, that it's not a thing they are going to do constantly. But more or less, no government can totally withdraw from the economy. One way or the other, it's still need to intervene occasionally. So that is just the fact.
Okay. And on this note, we've come to the end of today's program of Newspaper Today. I thank my guest once more, Mr. Adebayo, for joining me on the show.
Thank you, it's a pleasure.
Till I come your way next time, join us tomorrow for another edition of Newspaper Today. I am Adeniyi Adebayo. Have a good morning.